All right, well, good evening and welcome to the River of Calm live streaming concert series. My name's Ed Basil and I'll be your host. And the River of Calm is a live streaming station, but it's more than that. The River of Calm is actually a place in your mind where you can go to calm down and center yourself after a very stressful day, an overloaded world of too many texts, voicemails, phone calls. I started it out of therapy to myself, but it's grown into something a lot bigger, and it's heard with over 144 countries around the world. We have listeners. We have 60 plus gifted artists who come and perform and who are on the riverofcalm.com radio station. And as a matter of fact, one of our artists, Vicente Avella, who played, I think in May, I think it was, just got news yesterday that his new CD made the ballot for Grammy nomination. So that's really cool. You're getting that type of artists that are coming. And we have some great artists here. By the way, Eric Bikalis, pianist, is here. And pianist Corid Lavigne, who's outstanding, delicate, beautiful piano work. So thank you for being a part of our audience. And if you haven't been here before, what we normally do to start our time together is to bring out an antique Tibetan singing bowl. This singing bowl was made in either the late 18th or 19th century, and we'll have our friend and Tibetan singing bowl striking expert Jack Cannon ring it in like they did for hundreds and hundreds of years ago with 3 gongs. Jack? Mm-hmm. Bravo, maestro. I see you used a European grip this time. Wow. Well, anyways, we always like to start with the singing bowl, just to a statement of, we're about calm and centering ourselves, and nothing like a singing bowl to help start us off. We have a great lineup tonight. We're really taking this, when we say the River of Calm, music to soothe your soul, we're really taking this to where the rubber meets the road, and we're going to talk about music and healing and how it scientifically can heal. We can say all the time, oh, this is beautiful music and I feel calm or whatever, but we're going to have some really good people on here. We have Holly and Brian Cumming, a husband and wife team, who are going to come and tell us about bilateral music. But before we do that, this whole thing is sponsored by Miller Piano Specialists here in Franklin, Tennessee, which is a suburb of Nashville, Music City, USA. And we're honored to be here, and thank you all for having us here. And we're going to bring out Dave Martin from Miller Piano to say a few words and tell us what's the latest with pianos. Dave? Dave has entered the building. Well, come on out. Thank you so much. Wow. You've got this aura about you.
I didn't expect that.
Yeah. Well, come out. Nice shirt, by the way.
Thank you very much. That's newly acquired.
Nice. Well, you wear it
the
well.
Best piece of my wardrobe now.
There you go. It looks sharp. So, by the way, we're giving away, if you didn't register at the front, we're giving away a concert package today, which is a River of Calm official T-shirt, plus one of Brian Cummings' CDs. So we're doing that not only here in the store, but if you're online, if you can text the word CALM to 33222, that's CALM to 33222, you'll be entered in our online sweepstakes, and we'll let you know the winner tomorrow online. But for now, you're our winner with Miller Piano Specialist,
Oh my
Dave.
goodness, what did I win?
You've won me right now, and that's not too great of a, anyway. All right, I see right now we have a different piano behind us today.
We do.
What do you have?
We have it's not a new instrument to the world, but new for this spot. Mm-hmm. Because normally we have a larger piano.
A Yamaha C7 or the
Right.
C9 at one time.
Right. So this time we've decided to use a little smaller, more intimate piano, which is the model C2. C2 is a conservatory 5'8" size piano. It's still a world-class piano. It's a fabulous instrument. Mm-hmm. This particular one is a straight-up standard acoustic instrument with no add-ons or embellishments in the electronic world. A lot of our instruments are somewhat hybrid. in that they have either a silent system on board or a MIDI system or a player system. And Yamaha being such a great company, they're just a tremendous company. Their technology and research and development is, I think, the best ever in the history of musical instruments, particularly pertaining to pianos. So, having said that, many of their instruments will do other things besides just be a piano. They're not just the old, piano from 100 years ago. They're very forward-thinking. A lot of technology that can be implemented for recording purposes, for sending files, sharing files over the internet, doing remote lessons. I could go on all night and probably bore a few of you if you're not already. But this particular piano is a standard, straight acoustic piano. It's 5'8" in size, and it is a wonderful instrument. I hope you all enjoy it.
I have a question. I'm confused. I know when you have the nomenclature C7 means I would think a 7-foot piano, C9, a 9-foot. Why is this a C2? Is there a C5?
There is a C5. It's interesting. You'd have to go back in history and study how they began using their numbers. But you could say back in the early days there's a Model 1, then a Model 2, and then a Model 3, then a Model 4. And over time, they re-engineered, and some of those models became sizes that almost lined up with the number. But in effect, it's just a C1 in the current lineup, and in recent years is 5'3". C2 is a 5'8", and as the numbers go up, the sizes go up.
I'm confused, but I'll go with you.
I have done my job then.
No kidding, no kidding. So, again, I'm not a Yamaha paid person by any means, but I play this piano. It has that same Yamaha action, which is always very solid and the same from piano to piano. So, and this could have the same action as you would have with, let's say, an upright or other pianos?
Well, the same effect. In an upright, because it stands up rather than being laid out horizontally, then there are some physical differences. But the engineering is so well done that the net effect in your hands when you're playing the instrument is very close to the same. And Yamaha is known in the musical world, in the musical community, as being a company who gives you very consistent quality in both tone and touch throughout the entire product line.
Nice. And then last question. These pianos are not only for studio people and professionals, but you have pianos for beginners.
Right. Well, absolutely. The studio usage and the professional players, they have to start somewhere. They have to start at the beginning, just like everyone.
I started, no kidding, on a pink upright piano in my sister's room. It worked, though.
I'm sorry to say, mine was pretty close to that too. So
Yeah. Well,
I hate to admit that.
well, thank you for being here, though, Dave.
Thank you, Ed. Thanks
Dave
for
Martin,
having me.
again, what a great guy to have along. So thank you so much.
Thanks so much, folks.
All right, this is a grassroots thing, the River of Calm. That grassroots mean, wow, we're doing it ourselves. It's a labor of love, and we need your help. So anyone online, if you can like and share this, because we're promoting calm music to a stressed out world. I am happy that we finally have a River of Calm social media person on board. Her name is Kim Lacoste from Linfield, Massachusetts, so thank you for being on board for us for that. And also, the River of Calm mobile app for Android and Apple is available for Calm on the go. So glad to have you here for this. And don't forget, once again, I print these out, our concert drawing, text 33222 and the word calm, and you guys stuff your name in the cup in the back, okay? And we'll figure that out. All right, so with that, we want to get down to business here and talk about a fascinating subject, which is music and healing. And how does it really happen? And I think we have a wonderful guest to bring on. I'd like to bring on Holly, coming in just a second once the microphone is hooked up, and this is live TV, so this stuff happens. But she looks good now. Oh, Holly, you've changed quite a bit there. Yeah. But Holly, come on now. Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Have a
Thank you.
seat. Well, Holly, we've got a lot to talk about here, and thank you for taking your time to come.
Sure.
Now, you have a degree, you have a master's in counseling, and you're a licensed professional therapist. So tell us about your background.
How far back?
Bring it on.
I've only been doing this since 2007. And before that, I was a professional organizer for 13 years. Also worked as a geriatric care manager with Eunice for a little while. And I was a Montessori teacher before that.
No kidding. What brought you into this world?
One of my organizing clients wanted me to help her with her kitchen, and we cleared about 3 inches of counter space, and all she wanted to do was talk. So we just stopped. Stopped organizing, and she talked. And after 3 hours, I felt guilty for charging her, but I did. And she said, it's worth it because I've gotten more out of you in 3 hours than I have out of my therapist in 2 years.
Wow. So
I
that was
thought,
like
I think I'm in the wrong field.
your aha moment,
Yeah.
huh?
So I went and applied to school.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. And you studied cognitive behavioral therapy,
That's what they do at Trevecca.
right? And then cognitive behavioral involves writing down thought records and working through the
it's
process that
talk
way?
therapy, basically, and different people approach it in different ways, but it is so not me.
No?
No, no. So I very, very quickly diverged. I mean, I do some cognitive behavioral stuff, but not a lot. Went into more energy psychology, spiritual stuff, Splunk, EMDR, trauma, a lot of trauma work. That's pretty much all I do at this point is trauma.
Okay. Need to back up. You're a certified practitioner in Splunkna.
Yes.
What is Splunkna?
It is a Christian energy psychology protocol, and it's very odd. And you use Sarah Thiessen's the one that did it, formulated it through the directives of God, and she brought together 4 different modalities and smushed them together, and made one thing. And it's constantly evolving. But you do a lot of kinesiology, testing the person's subconscious for like what is running here. What age are we working on? And it is quite odd how I have no idea what's going to happen. I never do. But in the end, the clients always say, I felt like something just fell off of me, or I feel like I have more room inside. And they find themselves acting differently than they did. Because it
Nice.
changes your belief systems.
Okay.
Yeah.
I never knew. So thank you for
it's
that. Now,
neat.
you're here because of EMDR.
Yes.
Now, can you tell the audience what EMDR is?
EMDR stands for eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. And Francine Shapiro made this up accidentally again in the 80s when she was having some bad memories and some hard times walking through the park in New York, and found her eyes doing this odd movement that she didn't ask for it just happened. And when she finished her walk, she realized all the stuff that was in her that had been painful was gone. So she was like, what was that? So she started getting her friends and her family to like, let's play with this. And she started playing with it and realized, yeah, eye movement does change your brain back and forth, bilateral. So she developed that, and it has evolved, as they all do. I don't use eye movements because people find it very tiring, and I don't do this because it will give you tennis elbow. You do that all day long.
Occupational therapy, yeah,
yes,
but
it's like,
hazard there.
I can't do that. So I use a kit called a Neurotech, and it allows me to control sound, speed of panning, and vibration. I use nodes, these little things you hold in your fingers that vibrate. This feels like a cell phone vibrating, and it pans back and forth with the music.
With music.
I use Brian's music. I used massage music early on, but I found some of them were pretty, and then it would go to a really corny, kind of song. And the clients would always say, could you go past that one? I don't like that one. And it got kind of old. So eventually, I had Brian make an album.
Now, I have a question there. Is part of your licensure stipulations that you had to marry a musician?
No, but I just lucked out on that one.
Oh, okay. All right. Just curious on that. Now, how old is this EMDR world?
She started that in the 80s. So it's been around a while, and it's one of the most researched protocols out there.
No
She
kidding.
has more research than almost any other protocol. So people can't say, oh, come on. It's heavily researched.
So it's an accepted practice?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah, because there's always a number of critics or review
Oh, yeah.
boards and,
And it's fully accepted now in psycho world.
wow,
Yeah.
no kidding.
Yeah, lots and lots of us trained out there.
And so you use this on a daily basis?
I use Splachna more, but I do have certain people that just for some reason their brain wants EMDR, and I can usually feel it. Sometimes in the middle of a Splachna session, I'll hear the Holy Spirit go, move to Splachna right now. I move to EMDR right now. So we'll just stop it, move over to EMDR, process whatever that was, and then go back to Splachna. And it makes a difference.
No kidding.
It has its place, specific.
Now, what type of patients do you see for EMDR?
They're all trauma. All trauma.
Trauma
people.
to what depth?
Sometimes big stuff, lifelong stuff, sometimes one incident, but everybody's got trauma. You won't find a person without it. So that's not hard.
Yeah, no kidding.
But they come in with different diagnoses because they've seen other people typically. I don't work so much with the DSM because I just take them where they are.
DSM?
The Diagnostic Statistical Manual. I don't do that so much. It's in my head. I kind of know what I'm looking at, and I see their diagnosis from another counselor. But I'm like, we're just going to take you right where you are, because odds are there's a trauma background, and there always is. So we start working on the trauma, and strangely enough, that diagnostic code goes away.
No kidding. And you've seen this happen often?
Over and over, yes.
Wow. Why is it not more
Yes.
popular? I didn't know about it until I met with Brian.
If you are involved in therapy at all, you will have heard about it. Almost every client I've ever had has either done it or heard about it. So,
kidding.
yeah, it's out there, big time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And let's see. And you've seen results.
Yes.
And what's your role as a therapist, by the way?
Facilitator.
Meaning?
To find out, get the history, like where did this start? You know, you kind of start with, how are you feeling now? What's going on now? Physically, emotionally, and all neurally, like what are you feeling? Some people have like weird tingling in their legs. Like, I don't know if that's a physical issue, if that's a trauma issue, because it can be. So I just find out what their history is, what they're experiencing, and then trace it back to, when did you first feel this? And they usually can do a little flip back and go, I first remember this. I remember this was at 4 when my father left. I was like, all right, there's our target right there.
Wow.
That's your target memory. So we go back there and resolve that.
And resolving by talking or by EMDR?
EMDR.
No kidding.
The talking pretty much stops.
Wow.
And the only talking there is at that point is when I do the EMDR, like I said, I have a kit. And even though his bilateral music, this is what I give to the clients to take home. It's very slow. It's only for relaxing. My panning is fast because that's what stimulates the hemispheres alternately, which is what breaks up the neural network where the trauma is trapped. Because when you have a trauma, say at 4, you're going to have that 4-year-old trapped in this neural network that is locked down. That kid is in there with all those memories, all those emotions, all the physical feelings, everything. And sometimes it's more than one age is in that same neural network. So you have to go back there, and the panning, going fast especially, unlocks it.
Not fast meaning like that?
Sometimes it just depends on the client. I watch them. I have to watch their faces, their body language, what they're doing. Some people react, some people don't. You have to watch for shutdown, everything.
Have you had incidents where oh my gosh, this is...
No, because I'm real tuned into them energy-wise for some reason. And the Holy Spirit really leads me through a lot of this stuff and tells me what to do. So I know kind of what to do, and I don't even know how, but I do.
Wow.
And I know when to slow down and then say, what did you last experience? And they'll either tell me a memory, a sensation, a feeling, or all.
Wow.
Then they talk. Like, all right, that tells me I need to continue here, or I need to go back to base. All right, go back to 4 again. Let's do this again. And eventually they get through that dark tunnel, and it's like, phew, So what you're doing is taking a reading on how upsetting is this, 0 to 10. And they usually start at a 10 or 9 or 8, very upsetting. And by the time you get down to the end, you say what their negative belief is, and you remind them of the memory, and it's like, it's kind of like it's way out there somewhere, or like you're talking to somebody else.
And does this last, this effect? Wow. Wow.
And I send them home with a sampler and go, use this, and you do a safe place with them. You teach them a safe place. And say, go home, use this bilateral music, the one that Brian did, with the slow, slow panning. Put this on with earbuds, and then go to your safe place and do this a couple times a day, like a meditation, and that just sort of calms them even more and drives it in.
No kidding.
And you have a positive cognition to replace the negative. And it's like, just loop the positive and just breathe. And they come back and there's like, I haven't thought about that all week.
Really? Wow.
It's like, I love this.
Yeah, no kidding. Now,
Yeah.
is it so much the music or is it the panning back and
It's
forth?
the panning. The music is just so calm. I was sitting out there listening to them practice, and I was like, I'm about to fall asleep here. It's reassuring, and it's slow, so it's basically sending a message to your brain, you're okay. You're okay.
Yeah, I think music at that level can be almost on a neural level, how it gets in and heals. It's
Yes.
like
Very healing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I listen to it just as part of a meditation. It's really healing, and I usually end up falling asleep. It's like, I'm not supposed to fall asleep, but I do.
You come,
But
yeah,
it's
meditation,
so-
it's so close to that.
It's so sweet
Wow.
and calming.
Are you glad you got into this work?
Yes, I love it. I love it.
Kidding. Are there more people like you across the country?
There's nobody like me.
Well, granted, you
But
are
there are
the
other
only
people
you, but-
who are trained in EMDR,
Uh-huh.
and there are other people who are probably trained in EMDR and Splagna, and there are probably people who listen to the Holy Spirit. I don't know many of them. I've been to a lot of therapists. They're very nice. They're really good, but I don't see anybody moving by the Spirit. So that's different
Right.
with me. But the clients who come to me tend to be Christians, which I find funny, because I don't advertise that I only take Christian people, because I don't. But they find me. And they're like, I'm so glad you do this, because nobody gets it when I talk about hearing from God. They think I'm crazy, like, you're having hallucinations. It's like, no, I don't. I believe it. So if you hear something, you need to tell me, because he may be telling you something he's not telling me,
Right.
and vice versa. So we end up having, like, here's what I'm hearing, here's the picture I'm seeing. You know, we just share our whatever comes up, and it's usually dead on, whoever says it.
Really?
So if I say something, it's like, when I ask them, what is this so-and-so? They go, what's the lie you believe? What's the lie? It's like, I don't know. And then I go, here's the picture I see. And I go, that's it. That's exactly it. Like, how did you know that? And I'm like, it's what I heard. It's the picture I saw. And it was something that happened when they were 3. I can't know that.
No kidding.
So I'm like, thank you.
Yeah, no kidding.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
So your combination of your spirituality and Christianity, and also tied with EMDR training, makes you a
Yes.
unique.
You have to have that training. Yeah.
And people
It's
can
good
find
stuff.
can find more information on hollycumminglpc.com.